In the small, secluded town of Willowbrook, nestled deep within a sprawling forest, a chilling legend cast a shadow over the community. It was said that every 20 years, a sinister entity known as the Whispering Woods claimed a young girl as its own. The locals spoke of eerie whispers that echoed through the trees, a siren song that lured the unsuspecting into the heart of the forest, never to be seen again. When the day came for the cycle to repeat itself, a young girl named Lily vanished without a trace. Panic gripped the town, and a search party was organized to comb the forest for any sign of her. I was a member of that search party, my heart heavy with dread as I entered the Whispering Woods. The forest was a labyrinth of twisted trees, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air was thick with a palpable sense of unease, and the rustling leaves seemed to whisper secrets that I couldn't quite decipher. The shadows danced in eerie patterns, and every step felt like an intrusion into a realm that should remain undisturbed. As night fell, the forest took on a new, haunting beauty. Moonlight filtered through the dense canopy, casting an ethereal glow on the surroundings. My flashlight's beam cut through the darkness, revealing gnarled roots and the remnants of long-forgotten paths. The tension in the air was suffocating, as if the very forest held its breath. The search continued deep into the night, but there was no sign of Lily. Exhausted and disheartened, we gathered around a small campfire, the flames casting eerie shadows on our faces. It was then that I heard it, a faint melodic humming that seemed to come from all directions. My heart raced as I looked around, trying to locate the source of the sound. The humming grew louder, intertwining with the wind that rustled the leaves. It was an enchanting melody, one that tugged at my thoughts and beckoned me to follow. My flashlight flickered, and I realized that I had strayed from the campfire deeper into the heart of the Whispering Woods. With each step, the humming intensified, its sweet notes wrapping around my mind like a cocoon. I stumbled upon a clearing, the moonlight illuminating a small pool of water. At the center of the pool stood Lily, her eyes vacant and distant, her lips moving in time with the haunting melody. My heart pounded as I called out to her, but she seemed not to hear me. The water around her began to ripple, and from its depths, spectral figures emerged, their forms flickering in and out of existence. They danced to the melody, their movements graceful yet unsettling, as if they were trapped in an eternal trance. Desperation consumed me, and I waded into the water, the coldness seeping into my bones. The figures turned toward me, their eyes hollow yet filled with longing. Their voices joined Lily's, the harmony a cacophony that threatened to drown out my own thoughts. With all the strength I could muster, I reached for Lily's hand, her fingers cold and lifeless in my grasp. The humming intensified, an agonizing crescendo that seemed to pierce through my very soul. The figures closed in, their ghostly forms merging with mine, threatening to swallow me whole. And then, with a final surge of willpower, I screamed, a primal sound that shattered the enchantment. The figures wavered and faded, their cries of despair echoing in the wind. Lily's eyes cleared, confusion and fear replacing the vacant look that had once been there. We stumbled back to the campfire, the forest around us quiet once more. Lily had returned, but the horrors we had witnessed would forever haunt us. As the dawn broke and the Whispering Woods released its hold on us, I knew that the forest had claimed its victim once more, leaving behind a tale of eerie whispers and a melody that still echoed in the depths of my mind. In the days that followed Lily's return, the town of Willowbrook was gripped by an unsettling sense of unease. The forest that had once been a place of beauty and tranquility was now tainted by the sinister events that had unfolded within its depths. The townspeople avoided the Whispering Woods, their footsteps steering clear of the trees that had once provided solace. Lily herself was changed. Though she had physically returned, her eyes held a distant quality, as if a piece of her had been left behind in the haunting melody that had ensnared her. She spoke of visions, of spectral figures dancing in moonlit waters, of whispered promises that promised a world beyond our own. I couldn't shake the feeling that the forest still held secrets that needed to be uncovered. I delved into research, scouring old manuscripts and speaking with those who had lived through previous cycles of the Whispering Woods' dark ritual. It was then that I stumbled upon a forgotten tale, a journal written by a town elder who had experienced the same nightmare decades ago. The journal spoke of an ancient pact, a bargain struck between the town's ancestors and a mysterious entity that resided within the heart of the forest. The pact had been forged to ensure the survival of the town, but at a terrible cost, a sacrifice of innocence every 20 years to sate the entity's insatiable hunger. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I was determined to break the cycle. I sought out the oldest residents of Willowbrook, those who still remembered the tales of the past. Together, we hatched a plan to confront the entity, to challenge the dark bargain that had plagued our town for generations. As the next cycle approached, we gathered at the edge of the Whispering Woods, the air heavy with anticipation. The moon cast an eerie glow, and the whispers that had once been enchanting now carried a sense of urgency. Lily stood among us, her eyes a mix of fear and determination. We stepped into the forest as one, our footsteps resolute against the haunting hum that threaded through the air. The trees seemed to close in around us, as if the very forest were sentient and aware of our intentions. The melody grew louder, the spectral figures emerging from the shadows, their movements graceful yet chilling. But this time, we were prepared. We held hands, forming a barrier against the entity's power. And then, as the melody reached its fever pitch, we began to sing, a song of defiance, of unity, and of breaking the chains that bound us to this malevolent force. The forest trembled, the ground beneath us shaking as if the very earth were protesting our actions. The figures faltered, their movements growing hesitant as our song carried through the night. Lily's voice, once lost to the melody, joined ours in a triumphant crescendo. With a final shattering note, the melody shattered, and the entity's hold was broken. The figures dissipated like mist, their anguished cries fading into the night. The forest seemed to sigh in relief, the air no longer thick with dread. As we emerged from the Whispering Woods, the town of Willowbrook began to heal. Lily's eyes regained their spark, and the forest's malevolent influence waned. The tale of the Whispering Woods would live on, a reminder of the darkness that could consume even the most tranquil of places. But now, it was a story of triumph, a story of a town's resilience and the power of unity. The Whispering Woods no longer whispered secrets of dread and despair. Instead, they spoke of a community that had faced its fears and emerged stronger, united by the bonds that had been forged in the face of the unknown.